And you are a regular user in Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah.
And are you in a way of Facebook activism?
Because 10 years ago, I used to edit this little magazine called The Dalit, and we used to print 500 copies. And to send these 500 copies, it used to be very difficult for us because, you know, we needed money for postage, and, you know, we could not even send copies to the subscribers. Somehow we used to manage the money for, you know, the printing, but the copies used to lie in the office and I used to feel bad. And this was, I'm telling you, 2002. And we have 500 copies, you don't know how to give it to people. But now, I know that if I have to say something, I put it on Facebook and Twitter and it reaches 30,000 people at least. It's you know, for somebody who is trying to take something to 500 people, if she gets the power to take it to 30,000 people, it's overnight, right? It's a big change. It's so liberating. And that's why I use Facebook to let more people know what is happening, because the sad thing in life is a lot of people will say, well, you know, I did not know that was happening. I could not do anything about it. But at least now they cannot say, we did not know it was happening. Now everybody has to be informed.
And Meena, CPM in Tamil Nadu doing so many protests against caste and doing many things in caste annihilation.
Yeah.
What's your disagreement with them?
With the CPM?
Yeah.
I don't have any disagreement with anybody per se. And if they want to work with me, I will be willing to work with them. But I'm very wary of political parties, and I think I will do my best to avoid engaging with anybody.
Why?
Because I don't believe parliamentary politics.
Okay, and most of the communists are known as famous patriarchs.
Uh-huh.
And how can you engage with Maoists and Naxalites?
Well, actually, this is a very interesting question, because I think when I engage with the Tamils from Elam, I always tell them, what are you doing to the Muslim question? When I engage with Muslim friends, I tell them, what are you doing to the women's question? And so, when I engage with the Maoists, for instance, or the left, I really want to know what are they doing to the women's question, because again, or the caste question, and these are two questions I always ask regularly, and especially for the left, which is in denial of the caste system. I really want to know, okay, if you're the Maoist, fine, but give me what's your party document on caste. Okay, the CPI Maoist recognizes the annihilation of caste. But what is your step? How do you get there? And I really believe that, you know, sometimes you should read the manifesto to know what's the party's plan. So the same with the Maoist question as well. And I had the misfortune of being married to somebody who was a Maoist, but he was a Maoist, of course, but he was very patriarchal. But I don't blame his patriarchy on Maoism, because I don't think Marxism or Leninism or Maoism or any communist manifesto will tell you to be a patriarch. If you've read it, it's all your latent feudal and Hindu conditioning that's making you behave like that. It's not the ideology. If you have understood the ideology, you cannot be a patriarch.
But we Kerala also have caste in our minds and in our behavior. Did you feel ever?
I think my introduction to Kerala was actually doing this book on Ayyangali. I think Kerala's caste was really, especially in Travancore, the sale of slaves, for instance. There was huge slave trade, and people could just be sold. And I think there is a huge, there has to be a hangover of all that, and there is caste, of course. And I don't know how much the left has addressed it and not addressed it, because I still speak to Dalit friends here and they bring up several issues. Do we even address it?
But we have a left politics legacy here in Kerala.
Yeah, there is a huge leftist legacy. I'm not denying there is a leftist legacy. I come from Tanjore in Tamil Nadu, where you had the early communist movement in the 1940s, 50s, 60s. And the left in many ways, at least in that period, actually opened the eyes of the people towards the caste system. In Tamil Nadu, they were responsible for stopping the practice of whipping, because slaves were whipped. They stopped the practice of sanipal, because, you know, cow dung was mixed in water and Dalit people were forced to drink it if they did any act of disobedience. So communism in many ways did fight caste. I'm not saying they did not, but did they fight it to the end? And the communists, I think, it's like they are not very different from the Catholic or church, you know, or the Protestant church.
So much dogmatic?
No, not the dogma. See, when the church came to India, they had this question of should we appeal to the upper caste or should we appeal to the lower caste? How should we spread our message? And so, you know, the Protestant had mass conversions among the lower communities, but somebody like, you know, Veeramamunivar, for instance, would want to only target the upper caste and convert them. So that's how the communists are. They think that if they go on a mass thing and, you know, talk about caste, caste is, again, look at caste, only the Dalit people will be like 25% or something, minority, and they don't want to make the majority angry, right? So they're thinking, oh, we will lose members, we will lose members. They're not different from the church. The church wants more numbers, the Communist Party wants more numbers, but you should realize that communism is not based on the Bible. The communism is based on the Communist Manifesto. It's based on the idea that you don't accept inequality. You don't accept that, you know, the working classes, the people, the, you know, the untouchables should be treated that way. That's not what the communist vision for society is.
But there is a criticism.
Because of this, you know, I mean, what I'm trying to say, just let me finish this point, is that they're not behaving like a radical revolutionary organization. They're behaving just like the church. They're behaving in terms of numbers. It's not about numbers. You might attract 5 people, but what is your aim? What are you fighting? And what are you willing to lose for that? It used to be wonderful in the beginning, at least I'm sure it was. But over the time, you know, you come to electoral politics, you want numbers. That's where the numbers game starts, right? And then you stop putting all your preferences, you know, on the hold.
And communists are yet to be democratized. You argue for that?
Meaning, what does it mean?
They are not, they are feudal.
Yes, sometimes.
Why do you say so?
You asked me this question and you made me agree with you, and then you asked me why. Yeah, I think the feudal nature of the communist, I don't know, because in some incidents, believe me, for instance, in Keelvenmani, there is a memorial to 44 Dalit people who died protesting for higher wages. And of course, it was the Marxist Party which led the movement. Because of the Marxist Party, the people were communist. They were all Dalit people, but they were all communist people. Because of the Marxist Party, they faced the landlords, they died, they sacrificed their life, no doubt. But when a Dalit leader wanted to go and pay his homage in Keelvenmani, then the CPM was saying, you know, it's private property, it's Marxist property, and you're behaving like a feudal that way. You say it's your property. So, you know, it's entirely possible for the communists to behave like this. I have seen that.
Thank you, Meena, for joining us.
Oh, thank you.
And all
yeah.
best wishes.
Okay, thank you.